ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah. First 12 ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah. Y'all better listen up. This sports talking tough. So if you got a cup, go on and raise it up. I'll raise one with you as we talk about the sports. It's raining stats and rumors. Let us give you the report. This is First 12 ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah. First 12 ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of First 12 Ounces. Heading into the holiday season. Rivalry week. Turkey Day around the corner. End of the season's upon us, fellas. This is it. This is the last one. Last one before conference play. CFP announcements. Epic coach moves wherever they end up. We'll touch a little bit on that as we get into it. But hey, let's start it off. Who had the first game this past Saturday? Was I think Alabama had the first game, didn't they?
Yeah, we played at the wonderful 1 o'clock kickoff slot.
I had the mighty, powerful.
Eastern Illinois, baby. Eastern Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, look, obviously not a lot to say. Bama won 56-0. The offense clearly made a big emphasis on, hey, we're just going to run the ball a million times. They ran for 260 or 270. I think 12 different people ran the ball. I think 6 different people scored touchdowns running the ball. It was just simply hey, we're gonna run the ball and we're gonna practice it in games and at practice. I mean, not a lot to take away from it. A lot of people are panicking because Ty Simpson threw for 150 with 2 picks. One of the picks, I guess you could put on him. The linebacker just jumped to the moon and took the ball off the air. The other one was a Hail Mary to the half. I mean, jump ball in the end zone. Their guy just came down with it. But cool, we ran the ball against Eastern Illinois. I know we'll get into the Iron Bowl in a little bit, but not a whole lot to say here.
Got you. I'll touch on Texas's blowout win against Arkansas, then we'll get into Buddha's game. Hey, Arch could do no wrong, it looked like, in that game. He shined. He did shit that we haven't seen in Austin since, when was the last time that happened? 1946 was the last time a quarterback scored a rushing, passing, and catching touchdown. And the great Bobby Lane was the last one to do it. But hey, man, he shined. He looked good. Parker looked good. Parker got a passing and a throwing. They should have let Parker get another running one in too. It should have did some kind of gimmick play to where he could run one in, because that would have been outstanding as well. But hey, team looked outstanding. Defense looked great. Offense looked great. What more could you ask for? Special teams, yeah. But hey, it is what it is. Special teams couldn't really do much, because honestly, there weren't many punts to start the game off. We didn't get a punt until late in the second quarter. And then it was a close game going into half. And then after half, Texas just came out and kind of flexed their muscle, and Taylor Green got hurt. They put their backup in. Their backup kind of shined. Hey, Texas did give up some yardage in that game too, but what a blowout win. Heading into rivalry week with A&M. So can't say anything more, man. It was a very impressive game, but it's Arkansas. They haven't won an SEC game, so it is what it is.
What was the final in that one? I don't remember.
56 to, what was it? 56 to 32, I think. It was like a 15-point win at the end.
No.
But it was they started putting backups in super early.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Looked like a great game from the start to the finish. Well, it was a close game from the start. Didn't like it being that close, but once I saw Sark doing that the throwback to Arch, I was like, oh, he's just gonna he knows his offense can do whatever they want against his defense, so he's going to do what they want to do. But it was a fun game to watch, enjoyable. Like I said, the offense looked great, defense looked great in spurts, because Anthony Hill not being there kind of showed up on the map too, real big. But let's talk about LSU. What are they doing?
LSU got into a mud fight with Western Kentucky, but I don't know. Can you imagine the backlash if we weren't in the middle of a coaching search? I just keep thinking about that daily. If Brian Kelly was still a head coach and we weren't in the middle of the Lane Kiffin chaos, Jesus, the backlash would be insane. And here's the breaking news. I think if you didn't have a fired coach, that result was going to be about the same. I think you were just better physically than Western Kentucky, but you got fucking out-coached and out-intensitied. You just happen to have dudes that are going to be on NFL teams, and they just don't have that. But again, though, we play OU this week, but LSU's actual football games on the field are on the back burner right now of what anybody gives a shit about in Baton Rouge, or kind of national media wise right now. it's only this coaching search. Like the football games are just taking place, and it's like, what's going to happen? We could talk about the OU game later on. Like we got two more important games to talk about other than that one, but like I don't know, LSU looks like shit. But again, it's the back burner conversation when it comes to LSU right now.
Yeah.
Got it. I mean, hey, heading into this weekend, I guess we'll go ahead and touch on it because it's the first one up in rivalry week, and that's Texas versus Texas A&M. It is a big one. It's the first time that Texas A&M goes into this game undefeated since 1993 or 94. I'm sorry. So that's huge. The last time Texas A&M beat Texas was 2010. So it's been a while since that's happened. But if you compare these two quarterbacks, they're like night and day, pretty much the same. If you compare them just SEC play alone, they're tit for tat with Marcel Reed only having one more touchdown, but having three more interceptions. Arch leads in passing yards with 1,875, and Marcel's coming in at 1,763 when it goes far as you know, stat wise. And then Arch's numbers as a whole, stat wise, they're up there with every quarterback in the Heisman contention right now, which is still impressive from being proclaimed the first flop of prospects ever. I mean, he kind of stood up and stood out, so that's great. The other thing going into this Texas A&M game is, like I've been saying all year, Texas A&M hasn't played anyone whatsoever. Their toughest game was Notre Dame, which was won off of a botch snap pretty much because an extra point was missed and they won by 1 point. Outside of that, they played no one. They played the bottom half of the SEC. That's it. It'll be a great rivalry game. I mean, in the end, Texas wins. Oh well. A&M doesn't go to the SEC championship; they still go to the playoff. But rivalry-wise, it's huge because Texas is going to want to do it. They're going to knock them off that pedestal. I still don't think Texas gets in, even if they win this for the playoff. There's too much that has to happen on the back end for them to even get a shot to get in. So I don't think that happens. But I mean, you got to want to beat little brother at home when they're having their best year ever. I think Casey Smith said it on her podcast. If we lose to Texas, it's going to ruin everything. Not really everything, but to essential. Hey, guess what? When we played a good defense, we lost, and now they got to carry that on into the playoffs. Not into the SEC championship, but then into the playoffs. Because if they don't win this game, they don't go to the SEC championship. They win, they're in. They lose, they got to have a whole lot of other shit to happen. Kind of like Alabama. If Alabama wins, they're in. So it's just it's gonna be a fun one. I'm looking forward to it. I think our defense is gonna step up and put Marcel Reed into a fucking barrel like they did last year, where he doesn't really know what to do. He just starts making mistakes. Their running game is something to be concerned of, but both of their starting running backs haven't played in a while. I know one of them is actually hurt. The other one's kind of iffy. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. They do have weapons on special teams as well. But it'll be good versus good, and we'll see how it plays out. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a fun one, especially being in Houston with all my family. My niece and nephew, or my soon-to-be niece and nephew, are Aggies. They would love nothing more for A&M to get a win, so they could gloat about it. So it's gonna be fun. It'll be a fun conversation for Turkey Bowl this year before kickoff, when we all meet up to play Turkey Bowl like we always do. So it should be a good one. But I'm looking forward to it. What do you got saying about the Iron heading to it?
Well, just on real quick on Texas A&M, I think it's gonna be a relatively great game. I mean, look, I know Texas is like, probably out the playoff picture, but this is just what rivalry is all about, dude. It's like you got one team that's just like, yeah, we just want to like beat y'all just to do it. Like, why not? I think if I'm giving the edge to this one, I'm probably giving it to Texas, man. I mean, I think A&M's going to try to move Marcel Reed around a lot, but we've seen it many times where when he's having to throw the ball, he kind of gets in a weird little spot there. But yeah, no.
Hey, hold up. Your hands on the mic.
This fucking piece of shit. No, yeah, I don't know what I was saying, but yeah, no, I mean, look, I'd probably give the edge to Texas in this one. I mean, I think it's gonna be a good game. I don't think Marcel Reed's gonna be able to beat Texas throwing the ball, and I think he's gonna have to if he wants to win. Arch is hot right now. There's no way around it, really. I know Arkansas's defense isn't good, but Arch has been trending in the right direction. We've all seen it. So, I mean, that's what I got on that. I don't know. Buddha, did you want to say anything on Texas A&M before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know where I stand. I do think A&M's going to try to put the game into a phone booth. I think they're going to try to take a page out of the Kirby Smart handbook and just try to make Texas out physical them a little bit. I think on defense they're going to try to contain and just they're going to try to force Texas into running the football. I think this A&M team is really good. But I also think this Texas team is really talented. Now, they've had some hiccups along the way where A&M has not. But I think talent-wise, just raw talent-wise, these two teams are very comparable. I think the fact that it's in Austin is a huge edge to Texas. And look, I think there's also the mental hurdle for A&M. I know Pete referred that they hadn't beat Texas in 2010. And I think the caveat with that statement is they've only played once in that time frame, right? Or 2 or 3 times maybe. They haven't played every year. But to me, the mental hurdle with A&M is like, can you finish off a perfect season? Can you do it? Can you finally overcome the narrative that like you always collapse? Because like realistically, the collapse is still on the table. You could lose this game and then lose out in the playoff immediately. So like, I think that's the mental hurdle they're dealing with. I don't know which way I lean right now. I think this game is going to be similar to last year, where it comes down to the very end, and it's going to be who makes mistakes versus who doesn't late. I don't think this game's decided in the first half.
Yeah, I think having this game in Austin is huge. That's a very good point that I bring up. I think that's huge, especially for, like granted it's the end of the season, right? Like Arch has had plenty of games under his belt, but nonetheless you have a new starter at Texas, right? Like I'm sure we'd all agree a starting quarterback's gonna be more comfortable at home than they will on the road. Period. I would think. So yeah, no, I think it'll be a good one though.
Yeah, and then the other thing that I'll lean Texas more on is Texas has been more battle tested than A&M. They really haven't played top. Texas didn't really play top end talents either, but they had their back against their wall. They came back and won games when they were supposed to, more than once. So they've been up against the wall where they had to pull some shit out. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, both teams have
Good.
both teams have had like a ridiculous comeback. Like the Texas was dead in the water against Mississippi State and came back and won, and A&M has the biggest comeback in like SEC history against South Carolina. Like both these teams have these games where like they were dead. The game was over with. Like get out of the stadium. Here's a loss. Here's a one in the L column, and they won those games. I that's an interesting angle as to who's going to be able to fight more.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the Iron Bowl. How are we feeling about it?
Look, I've been like MIA the last few weeks because I've been moving. I've been kind of out of pocket. Obviously, Bama lose to Oklahoma, and the writing's on the wall, man. You see it. It's all going to come down to the Iron Bowl. Bama's got 2 losses. Auburn has nothing to play for. It's another situation of Auburn just being ass and having literally no reason to be alive, but yet we have to beat them in Auburn to have a shot at the playoffs. At first, I was upset about this. I was pissed. I was like, we should have beat Oklahoma, blah, blah, blah. Kind of throwing a fit about it. But then, I sat and I thought, I was like, man, this is what we do it for. As fans, what more can we want? Like, how much more passion do I need to put in this shit? Like, this is everything. You get to go to the cow pasture of Jordan Hare. You get to go and beat these little asswipes. Just again, look, I rewatched the highlights from the 4th and 31 game with Milroe in 2023. Just seeing the fans so excited for that last play, standing up, ready to rush the field, and then bam. It's like you just ran over their dog. It's like you just kicked their little sister down the stairs. It is the greatest thing in the world to watch their reaction to that play. Now, let's talk a little ball here. The only category that Auburn beats Alabama in statistically is rush defense and rush offense. Rush offense, they lead us by a yard. Excuse me. So there's not a big difference there. The good news for Bama is I think Ty Simpson just played his worst game of the season, which he still threw for 300 and a touchdown against Oklahoma. I'm sorry, excuse me, he didn't have a touchdown. It was rushing touchdowns. So I think that's the good news, right? You're getting a Ty Simpson that's hungry. Everyone's doubting him again, just like after Florida State, which is crazy to me. So I think you're going to see a Ty Simpson come out ready to ball. Another good thing is against Oklahoma, while really didn't feel like it. Bama rushed for over 100 yards. The total number was, I think, 112 before taking out sacks. Okay, so you take sacks out of the picture because in the NCAA stats negate rush yards,
which
which
is a
we all
stupid
get
rule.
to. The dumbest thing in the world. You ran for over 100 yards in the best rush defense in the nation. Against East Illinois, I mentioned how Bama had so many people run the ball. I think Daniel Hill has kind of overtaken that RB1 spot from Jam Miller, which I did not see coming. I know Pete was high on Jam Miller going into the year. Boot, I think you even also thought he was pretty good. I think Jam is really good. I think ever since that concussion, he hasn't been the same. But Jam Miller's blocking is the reason that he's as good as he is. I think you're going to see a little bit of what you saw during that 4-game stretch against, Georgia, Mizzou, Vandy, Tennessee. You're going to see a lot of quick pops. You're going to see a lot of underneath throws. You're going to see mid-range throws. I don't think you're going to see any deep shots in this game. I think we're going to try to keep it close to the vest, get control early. I mean, look, Auburn's got talent. One matchup I'm looking forward to seeing is Cam Coleman, obviously Auburn receiver who's really good. Dijon Lee, true freshman at Bama, will be lined up against him, which I think will be a hell of a matchup. Dijon Lee is essentially DJ Pickett, but a half inch shorter. He's like 6'4", 210, just a freak built in a lab. Like, dude shouldn't even be a human. Obviously, I have Bama winning this one. It's going to be a tough environment, but at the end of the day, the players have to play the game. So I could really give two shits where we're playing them. I want to beat them. I know everybody else wants to beat them. I'm going to talk some more after y'all go, but I'll let y'all go for now.
Yeah, you want to go ahead, Budo?
Yeah, I can go. I think this is a weird game because I do think, I think Cole touched on it, like Auburn does have some talent, and they have at times this year been pretty damn good on defense. If I were to speak on it from that spot, I think I would say like the one thing I think we've seen Ty have some struggles with is pressure in his face a little bit, which most quarterbacks do. Can Auburn do that consistently? I personally believe no. I think Alabama's just a better coach team. I think they got a better personnel at the end of the day. Again, this is a rivalry game, so I think it's going to be tight for a while. I just don't. I think Bama kind of wins it, and I think they might win it handily. Like, this Auburn team is playing for nothing, and it's easy to come out in a rivalry game. I watched it with LSU, Alabama, where, like, you're going to get their best punch. It's going to be a lot of intensity. But if you can kind of wear the first punch and then punch back a couple times, usually this team's playing for nothing, kind of die. They kind of crawl back in the hole and go, I just want to get out of here and keep it respectable. That's kind of how I feel like this one's going to end up going.
Yeah, I think I agree with you 100% on Auburn's defense. It's like one game you see them and you're like, oh shit, they got a good defense, and then the next week you're like, they can't stop a fucking cold. Like, what's going on here? The other big question is who's going to play quarterback for Auburn? Who is it? Is it going to be Deuce Knight, the freshman that got touches last week? I know Cole. We had talked about it earlier in the week, and you said no, he was only playing because they wanted to save the other guy's red shirt. But I mean, if Deuce Knight goes in, that dude showed he can run the ball. I mean, the first play on offense, he took it for 75 yards, untouched, and looked crazy. And the one thing that's been given, Alabama's defense a little issue is running quarterbacks. So do they implement plays to get him in there to work it out? Ultimately, I know you said it, Nick Saban said it. That Jordan Hare's haunted. Playing there at night is a curse. It's a nightmare. Like, you don't want to go there. You don't want it to happen. I still don't think I'm not worried about it at all. I think Ty Simpson comes out and he does what he has to do. They're gonna try to bring pressure as much as they want, and I still think that, as you said, Jam Miller's gonna step up and do what he has to do. And let's face it, when Ty has time and he can settle his feet when he gets pressure in his face, he still makes incredible throws down the field, intermediate passes, everything else. It's when he gets shaken up is when Ty looks his worst. That's what Oklahoma was able to do. But if we're comparing Auburn's defense to Oklahoma's defense, that's night and day. Like, there's you're not going to see that coming out of Auburn. Now, if we do, then there's definitely something haunted about Jordan Hare for sure, because I don't see this defense being able to stop what Alabama's been able to do pretty much all year when you give Ty time.
Yeah, so just to touch on the quarterback situation at Auburn. So it was actually announced today Ashton Daniels is going to be starting. So I don't really understand what they did. I don't know if he had to sit one of these two games to keep his red shirt, or what it was. But he sat last week, but he's playing this week. I don't know. I guess he's gonna play. I don't really know. I don't really care who it is, to be honest. I mean, either one. I mean, look, while Bama, like, it was really more so last year that Bama was struggling with running quarterbacks. I mean, this year they held Pavia at bay pretty much. Mateer didn't run for a whole lot on him, and then I mean, I guess it's really the only two true running quarterbacks they played this year. Well, I mean, Castellanos obviously ran all over us, but that's a whole different team, obviously. But no, I mean, yeah. So I mean, I think it'll be good. One thing that does concern me is Alabama has a terrorist on their team. Alabama has a member of Al Qaeda on their roster. It's Connor Talty. I think he was sent from hell to ruin my life. Connor Talty, if by some way you see this, first of all, I love you because I don't think you were told that enough as a child. So I want to tell you I love you. Somebody did something to him in his life that made him decide he's going to ruin mine. I have never in my life seen a kicker go from like being like, oh, like this dude might be like good to just like, I don't know, we just sent Buddha out there to kick. No offense, Buddha, but like just out of nowhere.
Buddha's like, I got a leg, dog. What you talking about? I can kick. What you talking about?
Dude, I pray and pray and pray that it does not come down to a game winner from Connor Talty, because I genuinely think I don't even think we need to do it. I think we can just walk up, call the snap, and just put the ball on the ground, and just shake hands. There's no point in kicking it. Bama has a true kicker problem. This is actually a fun fact about Eastern Illinois game that I forgot to mention. Talty missed a field goal in the first quarter. I don't know, Bama was like 14-0. And it was like 4th and short, but like it was one of the situations where I think we just kicked it to get the practice in a game. And he just doinks it off the. So after that, we never kicked another field goal the rest of the game. We never had a chance to. We never had 4th down. But we had 3 other kickers kick extra points. So maybe Connor Talty is back in fucking Islamabad or wherever he is gonna ruin somebody else's life. But I mean, man, I hope it doesn't come down to that. So that's our kicker problem. But also, while we're talking about Bama, I'll just address the Kalen DeBoer thing with the Penn State rumors, just to get this out of the way. I do not think Kalen DeBoer is going anywhere. I have very good reason to think that nobody thinks that. A lot of people are saying if Bama loses the Iron Bowl that there's going to be rumblings. Like, yes, there's going to be rumblings. Fans are going to be pissed. Bama fans are not always the most understanding. They're very spoiled. I try to be more reasonable. I do think he's a Penn State target, but I don't think that means he's interested. He has basically said he's not interested. I don't think he's leaving. I don't think Penn State can offer him what Bama can financially or just culture-wise. So I'll just kind of leave that at that it's not happening. So
I was waiting for Buddha to hit his best Brian Kelly and be like, spoiled. When he said our fans are spoiled, I was waiting for it. Let's get before we get into the circus that is the coaching corral in NCAA. Let's touch on OU LSU. How you feel about it, Buddha?
I mean, if you want to watch boring 1927 football, that's going to be LSU OU. Like, I really don't think either team scores. Like, I know the joke is like LSU can't score 30, which we can't, but I don't think either team does. I mean, these are really good defenses in 2 kind of putrid offenses. The difference is like OU has Mateer, who's been their best offensive player, and LSU has nobody on offense essentially that they can either get the ball to consistently. I think it's just going to be a gross mud fight. I think the game is close, but like OU kind of controls it. It's like my gut feeling is like when the game is over, like you're going to see the final score and be like, that wasn't a bad game. But like if you watch it, you'll be like, that was a whole lot of punts and a lot of field goals and not a lot of good shit. If LSU's going to win the game, they got to do it on special teams and defense. They've got to steal a touchdown or 2 away from them. But, I mean, you can ruin OU's season. And in my lifetime, when we play OU, we just fucking spank them. So I think we might spank them. I don't know. Maybe we do steal 2 touchdowns, kick a field goal, LSU wins 17-0. That's how I feel about it. I don't think the offense is
Hey,
better. What's
that
our
would
record?
be
LSU offense is poo.
that would be great. I told Cam today on Twitter. I was like, hey man, because he was talking about, hey, this is the first week that both running backs for OU are going to be healthy. I was like, I don't think y'all need them, but I don't want y'all to win either. So I mean, if they don't play, then that's great. I was like, but I don't know how LSU can win it, but I want them to win it just because I fucking hate OU. I want OU to be outside of the playoffs again because I don't want them to be like, oh, y'all Super Bowl was beating us, we still made it to the playoffs. Fuck that, eliminate them. Like who is it? Who's zero for y'all? The punt returner that's fucking
Xavier Thomas.
exactly. Hey, it's doable. All you gotta do is punt it to the kid. Let the kid get a kid this much room. Nibbler did it. Let him hit
No, it's
that
very true.
fucking sideline and get a touchdown, and that'd be it. We'll win the game. Fucking 10-7. Y'all both score field goals, or they score 7. Y'all kick a field goal, and then fucking let old boy get a punt return to end it. That'd be great.
No, it's very possible. But to put it in perspective, this is the worst. More than likely, LSU will not score 25 plus points this weekend, which would then entail make this, to put in perspective, the worst LSU offense in the history of the school. Like, that's how bad this offense is. Since the Division I split in 1977, so when they split the divisions, LSU has never had a season where they didn't score more than 25 points against a Division I opponent. So Southeastern does not count this year. So against Division I opponents, it's the worst offensive season in LSU history. Right? So, like, that's the thing. Like, people talk about, like, Brian Kelly got fired at LSU because they went 9-3, 9-3, 8-4, and 7-5. It's like, now you got fired from LSU because you had the worst defense in school history 2 years ago, and you followed it up when your defense got good by rolling out the worst offense in school history. Like, it's shocking how bad the offense is. It's bad personnel. It's bad game plan. It's lack of preparation. We miss assignments constantly on the offensive line. We fumble the ball. We turn it over. We don't run good routes. We get no separation. Again, do I think it's possible that you can backdoor your way into like 14 points? And like you run a kickback or you pick one off and get into on the 10 and steal a touchdown? I do. But if LSU is going to play where they got to score 21 points on offense, they can't do it. I've seen it enough this year. They can't score 21 on all. They can't go score 3 touchdowns on offense. Like, I believe that. But we'll see. Again, you
Shout out
could have
all.
a punt return and a pick six from this thing being who knows like.
Yeah. Shout out Austin for saying that LSU can't score 30 in the SEC. And then I love that you called him out though. You called him out on our live. You're like, "Oh, we scored 50. We scored." I was like, "Wait, did y'all?" You're like, "Yes, we did. We did." And then he was like, "No, no, no. I said in the SEC. I said it." He clarified. He goes, "I did say the SEC." I was like, "All right, well, whatever." That'll be an interesting one. I mean, it's like one of those games where it means a lot to one team and not a lot to the other. And then I mean, honestly, LSU has nothing to lose, so why wouldn't they throw out their best punt? Why wouldn't they just do whatever they had to and show us shit that we ain't ever seen before? Fuck, might as well
Yeah,
do it.
Because
I'll tell
Frank
you if LSU,
job.
yeah, if LSU beats OU, I mean, that helps me out, so I'm fine with it.
I think LSU calls it
Let's.
conservative. I think Frank Wilson wants the job, so I think he's not going to call it as if he's an interim. I think he's going to call it just like he called the Western Kentucky game, where like he's going to take his field goals, punt on 4th and 1. Like, I think he's calling this game as if like my job is to win football games as the head coach of LSU. Which, breaking news, Frank Wilson, you ain't getting the job. Even if it ain't Lane Kiffin, it ain't going to be you. Like, I don't think that's. I think that ship sailed when you beat Western Kentucky 13-10. I think that ship kind of
So
went off.
was it announced that Nuss is not playing? Like Nuss is done for the year? Was that ever announced, or is he not
Yeah,
playing, or is there any even consideration of him playing in this game, or no?
Frank said they would evaluate it, but Pete Nakos came out yesterday and said that he was considered doubtful. No, Nuss is not going to play. Nuss will be in a jersey and sweatpants.
See, where as I would say, I would think Nuss would give y'all more of a weapon at quarterback than anything else if he's playing. But
I think at the end of the day, you look at it, if you're Nuss's camp or you're Nuss, there's literally nothing to gain for Nuss because your scheme is bad also. So it's like You want to roll back out here and look like shit again and remind everybody how bad you are? Or you want to keep letting Van Buren have struggles and the memory kind of goes to, well, Nuss was better than that. Maybe it is just a scheme problem. Like, I don't think he plays due to injury, and I think his camp is like, bud. Keep them sweatpants on.
We need shirts that say that. Bud, keep them sweatpants on.
Oh,
All right,
man.
let's get into the biggest news in college football outside of the rivalry games and the potential playoff chaos that can be created this past weekend, especially in the SEC with wins and losses. Man, this coach, like, does it get announced on the here's the question: the golden egg, two ways, because it goes for the trophy. It's gonna be won or lost in Oxford, or are they playing at Mississippi State?
It's in Starkville, so it's at Mississippi State.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that Mississippi. So do they announce it? Do they announce it on the field after Ole Miss wins that Lane's staying, or do they say that he's leaving, or is it at the press conference afterwards? Because they said after the game. What's it going to be? Because my thing is this: if they're leaning saying, "Oh, it'll be announced after the game," what a better way to do it than on the field saying, "I'm staying here. We won the Egg Bowl. We're going to the college football playoff. Let's roll with it." That's another reason why more I thought today than why would you say, "Oh, we're going to announce it after the Egg Bowl," what he's doing, and him be like, "Oh yeah, we just won the Egg Bowl in Starkville, and I'm going to LSU." Wait, what? How does that work out?
I think what ends up happening is, I think if he stays, you get it in the post-game press conference. He just tells you. What I think happens if he leaves is the game ends. He gets obviously peppered with the questions on it. He just keeps going. We just beat our rival. We're going to the playoff. I love what's going on here, blah, blah, blah. The report comes out later that night on Friday that he's leaving. His intent, he let Ole Miss know his intentions to leave. And on Saturday, you would probably figure out what team he would be going to. Is how I think if he's leaving. Now, if he's staying, I think he does it in the post game, not on the field, but the post game like press conference that's actually at like in the press conference room, whatever you want to. I don't know what Mississippi State has. They might have a tough shed that they do those out of.
So here's my thing. If he's staying, I think he does it on the fucking field. This is Lane Kiffin we're talking about, bro. This is the most dramatic
Yeah, exactly.
on the planet now. I think if he's staying, he's gonna do it like as they hand him the trophy, be like, "Yeah, by the way, I'm staying at Ole Miss. I love it here," and I think that's it. I look. Will it happen? I don't know, but if it does, I think he makes a whole show of it on the field.
Would agree. Now,
Yeah.
my thing would be like you hold it to the vest and go like that logic would say like we held it because you do it after the win. Let's say they have that mindset. Let's just go with the hype. He's staying at Ole Miss. Let's go with that logic. The plan is to announce it on the field after you beat Mississippi State. What do you do if you lose? Coach, you just lost to Mississippi State. Well, good news is, to the playoff committee, I'm staying, so you can still put us in.
I think if they
what do you do?
Like, if they lose, he announces he's going to Penn State. Period. No way around it. I'll make the rules.
He says, "I'm going to Florida. I'm going." He goes, "You know where I'm going? A spot that just opened up. I'm going to North Texas. Let's go."
Did y'all see Peter Burns' take on? Peter Burns came out and was like, my opinion is I think he's told all three schools that he's going there. Like, he's told LSU, I'm locked in, I'm announcing Saturday. He's told Florida, I'm signing Saturday. And he's told Ole Miss, I'm returning. Let's do it after the Egg Bowl. And nobody's going to know what happens until his mouth opens up. And there's going to be a bunch of people going like, what? We were 100%. He told us out of his own mouth.
Lane Kiffin is like the main character on the challenge. He's telling everybody, "I'm aligned with you. We're solid here. We're good here. We're best friends. I love you. You hear me? I want to go to the end with you." And then he goes to the next school and he's like,
We're the final three.
This is us right here, me and you. We're going to the final together." Then he goes to the next school and he's like, "Can I tell you something? We're locked in. We're solid." Dude, Lane Kiffin Look, whether he's going to LSU or not, I think he knows exactly what he's doing. He's getting as much money as he can. I think we're looking at like $110 million offer once it's all done.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the more and more you heard about in the past few days, the reason I think he stays ahead of Ole Miss is like, hey, we're not going to be outbid. Like, okay, so now Ole Miss is going to flex their old Southern wallet that no one's really seen, but they're saying, hey, we're not going to be outbid is a bold statement. But
Well,
I think
also
the ongoings at LSU kind of go ahead.
Well, I would say also on Twitter, he put in his Twitter bio that he's an Ole Miss affiliate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is just
I wasn't there before. Yeah, which it just kind of means I'm staying home. I'm staying home. I'm staying where I'm at. I've been here. Let's announce it more than anything else.
Again, I think the decision financially, because I do think all three schools are going to go. All three schools are in the same boat, going like we're not like the money's going to be the same wherever you go. Like if you need an extra $2 million, we'll do it. Like I think the money thing becomes somewhat of a non-factor in terms of salary, because I think all three schools are in the same boat, going, look, we're not going to lose the deal over your salary. I do think that the NIL portion of the money, like how do you spend it on a roster, is going to play a big factor to Lane. Like who has the best plan to allocate the money? Who has the best plan to say, yes, NIL is now changing with the clearinghouse, but here's on paper how we plan on getting people deals, how we're going to facilitate deals, how we're going to get brands to jump on and pay kids. I think that makes the biggest decision to him is like who can lay that out the best. Because I feel like if Ole Miss, Florida, and LSU, they're all going to throw out the same number in the NIL thing too. They're all going to go, we'll give you $16 million a year and $30 million NIL. I think it comes down to who can draw it on paper the best. And he goes, okay, I actually believe we can do the 30 million the easiest with X school, whatever that may be.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Joe Clatt hit the nail on the head though when he was talking about it. He was like, I mean, yeah, Lane Kiffin's done this once before. He turns back on Tennessee and he went to USC. Huge slap in the face. Does he do it again? Does he do that again? And if he does, how does it affect you as a head coach moving forward? Because
I think
that
wherever
steps
he's
into
going,
everything. Like, oh,
well, no, I was just saying, I think wherever he's going, I think he's planning. I think the plan is like he's gonna be there a long time. Obviously, I think in his head he's like, I think he doesn't give a shit what people think because I think wherever he goes, he plans to stay there for a long time.
I'd agree.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
sometimes the what's his perception going to be? I think that plays a big factor when you as a coach, you still feel like there's tiers to go up in the sport. I think he feels as if whatever his next decision is he's at the highest tier he either can go or wants to go. So I don't know if that's going to play a big factor because it's not like if you take the LSU job or the Florida job, there's probably only 2 or 3 schools above that and that you might consider a step upward slightly. So it's like now the Ole Miss. Now, if you were to leave Ole Miss to go to Arkansas, well, then that puts a big black eye on you because it's like, well, this is weird. But like, I do think that some of that is going to be a big story for a month and then go away. Because if you win at the next school, then like people go like, "What a decision! Look what he's doing."
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, the other thing that Joe Clatt kind of pointed out, he was like, everybody's like, oh, he's got so much more at each school. He's got more to offer him as far as succeeding wise at LSU and Florida than Ole Miss. But he's succeeded at Ole Miss without that already. So what says he needs that? He's been succeeding at Ole Miss. He's had 3 10-win seasons consecutively. He's on the verge of a college football playoff. Whereas both of the other universities are on the outside looking in. So why do you walk away from something that you've built for something that you have to rebuild yet again? But then again, that could be. I mean, we know how head coaches are. It's the ego about, hey, where I go, I win. I can build it wherever I go. So that might play into Lane's whole scheme too. Of, hey, where Lane goes, Lane makes shit happen. So he could say, I'm gonna take an LSU job or I'm gonna take a Florida job and watch me build it up yet again at another university. But the ultimate question is, does he want to do it again?
Yeah, I think when you look at like what has he accomplished at Ole Miss versus what could he accomplish elsewhere, right? I mean, that's obviously a question of like Obviously, Ole Miss has been better than LSU and Florida the last few years. I think there's also something to be said, though, that like in Ole Miss's best season in program history, they're still not going to play for a conference title. They've never played for one, right? And like when you think of schools that are probably comparable to them, Missouri is kind of one of them. Missouri's played for 2 SEC titles since they joined. Like Ole Miss has still never played for one. LSU got to one with Brian Kelly in like a year where like they weren't very good. So like I think that might play a factor in it. And then I think the other thing I just wanted to touch on, I don't know if we're going to naturally get there, so I'll just talk about it, is I think a lot of people refer to like how do you look at the players and talk to them. I do think it's a different day and age with players. Like I do think players view it a little bit differently because a lot of these guys, it's their first year. They just left a really good situation. And a lot of these guys might be leaving Ole Miss regardless to go to a different situation next year. Like, I do think players, this isn't the old school mentality of like, when I was 18, I said I was coming and I was going to be here till I was 22 and then go start my life, whether it be a pro football player or what else. Like, I'm also using these as stepstones to get to where I want to be. I do think that plays a factor of like, do these guys truly give a shit that much? And is it Ole Miss throwing like shooting themselves in the foot if he does leave, going, you can't coach the playoff? Because LSU has come out and said, Burge Osprey came out and said, like, we're okay waiting until after January 1 if a coach is coaching in the playoffs. Like, if that's what that coach wants to do, we're cool with it. So like, I think Ole Miss should go, what do the players want to do? I think they would very much so be like, we want to ride with Lane because we're also using this as what he's using it. It's a platform.
Yeah. Yeah, they want to win that championship too.
I agree with that to a certain extent. Yeah, I agree with that to a certain extent, but the university is not going to allow that. They're not going to be like, we're not going to have LSU's future head coach. Yeah, we're not going to have LSU's head coach coaching our team to a possible national champion. That's not going to happen.
Yeah,
and then to kind of a yeah, exactly. Kind of a rebuttal to your players. How much do they care about the universities? How much do schools care about conference championships anymore? Because what happens when you win a conference championship? Last year, every conference champion lost in their games. Everyone that won their wait, what?
It's a 1 year sample size, though, right? I think your point could be
but
proven true over time, but it's a 1 year sample size at this point.
But still, would you rather? Oh, we get a week rest, or we keep our players playing and wanting that fight to keep going forward. I mean, that's something to be discovered too, because it's an extra game. Because a lot of A&M people say, "Hey, well, if we don't play in a conference championship, it's not a big deal." Because guess what? We still move on to the playoffs. It's each team's going to view it differently. Conference championships are going to kind of become something that's just like, I'd rather not playing it because guess what? I don't risk injury to a player. I mean, look what happened to Georgia last year. Their starting quarterback got hurt in the conference championship, and then Gunnar Stockton was their starter, and then lost and got bounced in the first round. So it's kind of like, I think conference championships are going to kind of become a thing of, well, it's nice, but it is what it is.
I agree. I can answer like where.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I can answer where Ole Miss stands on conference championships. Like, this is not me, like, it's going to sound like I'm throwing shade at them, but, like, they have a banner in their football stadium that says 03 SEC West champions, which they just simply didn't win. So, like, I do think conference championships mean something to Ole Miss because they've never had one. They've just never done it, right? So I do think it still plays a factor, especially to these old-ass white dudes with the money that make the decisions. Their brains are not in 2025. They are still in 2005. So, like, I think they still value, like, can we play for conference championships? Can we be the pinnacle of the conference we're in? And again, Ole Miss has a conference championship banner in their stadium that they did not win.
Yeah, we can't really talk about banners and stuff that are hanging up and put on plaques and not mention A&M. They've got a couple of non-existent trophies that they've got on their stadium that they've won that don't exist or have never been claimed, that they just automatically like, oh, we're going to claim that one and put it on the side of our stadium. So I just got to take a jab at little brother when I can.
Go
ahead, Cole.
No, I mean, I was just going to say, I think it's tricky when you talk about like conference championships, especially a school like Ole Miss, because like Booty, you mentioned Missouri, how they played for 2 and just since they joined the SEC. But I think it's like, and you know this because you're an SEC guy, like Missouri was playing the East and if
Very
my
true.
memory serves me right, they came in before Kirby was at Georgia, if I remember correctly, right?
Correct.
Right. So like to
Cool.
Ole Miss's defense, like I mean, they were stuck with the LSU, the Bama in their conference, and hell, I mean, Arkansas had a few pretty decent years in there. Mississippi State had a few decent years in there. So like Ole Miss kind of got a bad shake of where they fell in the SEC when it was East West. But to the point from Pete of like how much the schools care about conference championships, I think in the SEC, anytime you have a chance to play for a conference championship, I think the schools care a lot. I think the coaches care a lot, and the players care a lot. Because I would argue that winning the SEC is the hardest conference in the nation to win, and I think it means. I mean, it simply does just mean more. Not even to try to be corny, it does mean more.
No, I agree with you on that. That's another reason I want Texas to beat fucking A&M. Just because they've been in the conference for how many years? 14 years? 15 years? And if Texas beats them, there'll be another year that they're not there in the conference championship. And they've had a head start against Texas for how many years? And Texas got there in year one. So, yeah,
Yeah.
of course that it means something, but it's just down the road, where does it go? Still
I think
talking
that's a good,
on a coaching front.
I think that's a good
Go
perspective.
ahead.
Like how much chips mean? They mean enough where you don't want A&M to play for one. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's kind of a mindset you can
Well,
look
yeah,
at it.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, but
hold on, want Auburn to play for an SEC
yeah,
title.
yeah, because that's little brother syndrome. You never want little brother to play for anything. That's like little brother getting a new toy, and it was a toy you wanted. Of course you're going to take it, or you're going to try to take it, or you're going to break it. Like what Texas is going to try to do this weekend is like, hey, guess what?
Well,
Little brother's got this opportunity with his new toy. I'm gonna stomp on that damn thing. Like Auburn's thinking, oh, big brother Alabama is one game away from playing for a conference championship, and they want to grab the toy and shatter. It's just how it is. You never want your rival or your little brother to do better than you. So of course that's how I'm gonna feel about it.
lucky for me, I don't think I have to worry about Auburn playing for an SEC title in the near future. Scumbag.
Here's the golden question. The other golden question that just popped off on Twitter. I think an hour before we got on. Was Buddha's guy that was next in line. Or maybe not his guy, but a guy that he mentioned and that we talked about a lot. Is no longer on the table. Eric Morris is at Oklahoma State. So he
Great
didn't
hire.
sit down and wait like some people were saying. Hey, some of these coaches are going to wait to see how it plays out. He was like, you know what? They're gonna throw money at me. I'm gonna take it. And Oklahoma State can throw money because they got Pickens money. So they got their guy. The question to you, Buddha, is if Lane's not there, now who do you go after?
So the talk in Baton Rouge is all the rumors were that Drinkwitz was the number 2. I think that the public backlash has pushed LSU off of Drinkwitz. I think now it would go to Dillingham would be the 2. I also am pretty confident that either tonight or tomorrow morning, Drinkwitz there's gonna be an extension announced between him and Mizzou. I'm pretty confident that'll happen before Thanksgiving. So I think it would be Dillingham, but to be truthful, like I think LSU zeroed in on Lane Kiffin. I think they're all in, and if Saturday you learn that he's staying at Ole Miss or going to Florida, they re-rally the troops and pick out another guy and go back at it. But like I think they vetted Kenny Dillingham and like they've got some feelers to him. I think they've got feelers to probably Clark Lee, Jeff Brom, like some of these guys. But like I think if you were to give them truth serum, like who's option 2, they're like, don't know yet, don't care. We're doing everything possible to get Lane Kiffin in the door. And I think Florida's probably in the
Yeah,
same exact
yeah,
boat.
and I know, yeah, and I know we've talked about it throughout, and you were big on Morse. You're like, hey, this is who I think we go after if it's not him. And I was just like, I don't know if he'll be around. And
Great.
I didn't see it coming today, though. I did not see it coming today at all. I was like, holy shit, here we go. Now who do you go after? Who's out there? Franklin's gone. He's gone. It's Lane or bust. And shit, if it's bust, hey, Billy's available.
That ain't happening.
No comment. I think Tom Herman's still looking for a job. I don't know what he's doing nowadays.
What does Arkansas do? Because all the reports after the Eric Morris thing broke was that Arkansas had zeroed in on Eric Morris. Like, what do they do?
Arkansas's probably going to go back to Coach O. They're probably going to go for Coach O big time. And I think that's a great hire for them. If they get Coach O, that's fucking huge for Arkansas. It came out on Twitter where.
So some of the Coach O stuff, some people confirmed that was O's that put out that, like, yeah, there's interest there. And they also put out the LSU thing, which is that's on brand for O and his team to kind of go like, it's kind of like manifesting. I don't think that's what he's trying to do, but like he does do some of that shit where like his name had kind of fallen off the radar. So he just threw himself in all these searches. I don't think he's a real option for Arkansas. Like I think his next head coaching job is at a smaller school like ULM or Northwestern or something like that. It was confirmed that his agents were the one that leaked all that info out. So they could have just been like, I got a scoop for you, bud. Woo pig, huh? Like, that's so O. Like,
yeah. No, I see that happening as well. Here's my next question, or my last question before we get off, because I know we've been running this one kind of long. If y'all miss on Lane, do y'all take another shot back at old Saban? Y'all throw some money his way, or y'all just say, hey, we'll figure out what we got?
I think the Saban conversations were the first call, and it was like, are you interested in doing this? If yes, it's a blank check. I think Saban was like, no, I think you should go look at Lane Kiffin. I think that's how that conversation went. And I think that's why LSU has circled in on him. I truly believe the next guy would be Dillingham because that's who the public has been pumping. So if you miss on Lane, like you're going to try to save face, and I think they're going to go after Dillingham. Now, whether or not that happens, I don't know. If it gets past Dillingham, I think Blake Baker might sneak right back into the mix of this thing because I think Frank lost it by beating Western Kentucky by 3. Like I think he took himself out of the running. So I think it would be Dillingham. If Summerall's still on the table, you might venture that way and just go see. But I think Blake Baker could enter his way back into the fold.
I get you. I still don't. I don't see. We've talked about it on here. I don't see the higher ups allowing Texas or LSU to go. Take another state schools coach. I don't think it sits right with them. Dillingham's an interesting one though, just because he came out so heavily and was like, "I'm not going nowhere. I like Arkansas State or Arizona State. I'm not going anywhere." So it's gonna be. Hey, it's Lane's world, and everyone else is just kind of living in it right now because Saturday is gonna show up and show a lot to what goes on in the coaching nonsense. I think that's all we got for y'all. Got anything else, fellas?
No.
Negative on both fronts. All right. Well, that's it. We'll catch y'all next time, as always. Friday's going to be an interesting evening. I don't know if we'll be able to go live or not. I'll be in Houston. We'll figure it out. It'll be a fitfo kind of shout out Chase Willis for those terms. Fitfo. Figure it the fuck out. We'll figure it the fuck out for y'all. That's all we got for y'all as usual. Y'all have a good one. Fuck 'em.
Roll Tide. Fuck Auburn.
First 12 ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah. First 12 ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah. Y'all better listen up. This sports talking tough. So if you got a cup, go on and raise it up. I'll raise one with you as we talk about the sports. It's raining stats and rumors. Let us give you the report. This is First 12 ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah. First 12 ounces.